Hi, this is Zachary from Zachary Sweeps. Just doing a quick video on this bird's nest. I think I needed to do this just to let you know that, like, it's if you ever do decide to remove bird's nest on your own accord, and you've got your own rods and brushes, which I know a lot of people around the world that they do have. So if you do remove your bird's nest, it's really important that you know that you've got it all out. Obviously, clearly, when you get the brush up and down, and it's very smooth, and then you get no bits dropping down, that's great. But sometimes what can happen is because I'm in an old farmhouse at the moment, and they've had a really bad issue of damp. Can you see that on the wall? And basically, what's happened is they've had it boarded up for the last 30 years that this board's been on the front of this fireplace. And what's happened is where the birds have been nesting on the bends, because obviously, what the birds do is they sit on top of the chimney pot and they just drop the twigs down. And wherever they land, that's where they make their nest. So they can have basically they could put a nest right on the bends just up here. Because what happens is the actual, say from here, the fireplace, the bend, the chimney will go up, and then it will bend either left or right, right or left, should I say? But on this particular time, it goes to the right, but they can go to the left because if you can imagine, there'll be a fireplace in the room above. This actual farmhouse isn't old enough to have only had like one main fireplace in the downstairs, because in the old days they used to have all the cattle in the main room in the farmhouse, and then the people used to live upstairs. So they used to have one great big inglenook fireplace, as you've probably seen in farmhouses. They didn't have any other fires. That was the main source of heating, and the wife used to stay at home and do all the cooking. And that's why I always say to you, like, never empty your grates out if you're burning wood only. And that's specifically where it all originates from, is where when you have the inglenook fireplaces, what they used to do was they used to have a great big ash bed, and they used to put all the wood on that. And they used to have, like, as you saw, the hooks for cooking the meats or drying it out, smoking it, so it was all keep it fresh, or bread ovens on either side. You've probably seen them on inglenooks as well. And they'd have a bar going across where they'd be able to do the cooking, and also to hang the pots up to do the water. They also use it to like boil the water for the baths. For the farmer when he come home from a very long day, I can imagine that they work very long hours now. But can you imagine in them days that it'd be dawn till dusk, should I say? So basically, as you can see, that they've had a real bad damp issue, and the reason why they've had a damp issue is basically because they've had a bird's nest, a big bird's nest in here. This isn't all of it. This is just part of it. But they've had this board over the front of it for the last 30 years, and they've decided that they need to get this damp issue sorted out. So as I said, you can go up and down as many times as you possibly can with the brush. I mean, a lot of people say go up 6 times and down 6 times, but I will disagree with that. And the reason why I say that is you go up and down until it's all gone. So whether you go up and down 3 times and it's all gone, or whether you go up and down 18 times until it's all gone. You keep going up and down until it's all gone. But what can happen with certain chimneys is that you can end up with a lot of debris that will just stay at the sides on the bends and everything. So the only way to find out if you've actually got the nest out is you need to get the bedding out, because obviously they don't nest on the twigs like these sort of things. You know that they don't nest on that. Obviously, they're not silly. They don't. You can feel it. It was raining in Sussex today, so it's a bit wet. This, so it's gonna great. It's gonna be great for this fire today. I'm gonna get the customer to light it ASAP. Obviously, remember it hasn't been used for 30 years, so you know exactly what's going to be the first issue when they go to light it. It's going to have a downdraft problem with it. So if you've seen my videos, you'll know exactly what to do with an open fire that's downdrafting. Just use plenty of paper first. warm up that flue. Don't be frightened to let the stuff blow up the chimney. If you get bits of paper going up into the chimney, it's fine. This is a tiled roof chimney. It's a nice solid brick chimney stack. There's no issues there. But you've got to keep going until you get the bedding out. Can you see the bedding? See all this sort of stuff here? This is the stuff that you need to remove. Once you get this out, look how much bedding there is. I've really given this right good hammering, I have. But this is the stuff that you need to get out. This is and because it's a little bit damp at the moment, as I said, because it's raining. But if you get this is the top of the nest. So if you get this out, then you know you're at the top of the nest. Or I always go out with a pilot brush first. But basically, what I use is these. I mean, a lot of people use the hooks, but I use one of these. These are great. They get broken, but they don't. That's only there just to stop it being so flexible for drainage pipes. Basically, these are designed for drainage pipes. They're not actually designed. You can use them for fireplaces, but they're actually designed for go down drains, and that's why they got the plastic around them there. But I use them for smashing up bird's nests. They're really cool. You've got the hooks, they're great. But these really, you can really slam them in. I used to use these a lot, these kind of brushes a lot. But the problem is they're too flexible. So, you know, you could be there all bloody day, 4 to 6 hours trying to get a bird's nest out. You use one of these are solids. You've got a bit of strength in your hand. You can imagine what my arms are like after 23 years of sweeping chimneys. And use one of these and you can smash that nest up to pieces. So that's what you want to be using, one of these. And they come free with the kit. If you buy one of them drainage kits, they come free with the hook and everything. The hooks are great, but the only thing I use the hooks for, as if you've probably seen on my other videos, is to get the brush, to bring the brush down if you lose the brush up there. So apart from that, they're no good at getting the nest out. You can try, but you'll be there forever twisting it and pulling it down. You take like 1 or 2 twigs at a time. You want to smash the crap out of it. And this is the best thing. It's like a hammer going up there, bashing away. And it eventually gets through. And then, of course, when this gets through, then it sort of like puts itself in a position where you really need to yank hard to pull it out again. So that's going to make a bigger hole. And you keep doing that, keep up and down, up and down. Oh, I'll tell you, I've probably been up and down about 20, 30 times. I won't lie to you. That's how many times I've been up and down on this. But you've got to do it. But as I said, remember, you need to get the nest out. See the nest? See all that? That's the nest. See it all? As I said, that's the nest. See, if you look. We've got all the twigs out, a lot of the twigs earlier. So, but I wanted to show you that when you know you've got the actual the nest, the bird's nest out, this is what we got out earlier. Loads and loads of these. I mean, this is what they drop down. Like, if you can imagine, it's one a twig, 2 twigs, mainly 1 twig at a time. They drop it down like that, and then wherever it lands in the chimney, that's where they make their nest. So they could fly down 20 feet down your chimney and have your nest 20 feet down. So they're very intelligent animals, and then they're able to get up and down a 9 by 9 inch chimney easy. So like you can go up and down. You could have thousands of these in the chimney because they have a one-track mind. The only time that they tend to like leave chimneys alone is when birds die. They seem to leave them alone for a few years because I think it releases a smell that they're not very attracted to. It sort of puts them off. It's a smell of death for birds and things like that. So just remember, you get your twigs out first, which obviously all these sort of things. Get all these twigs out first, and then just keep going. You could be, as I said, it could take you. I've had a job once that took me 8 hours to get out, and it wasn't because it was a hard chimney. It was because it was a fireplace like this that went into an ingle nook, and they'd been nesting on the ledges, and it overspelt. overspilt into the fireplace, and then they just built up on that, and it hadn't been touched. Probably the same again with this one for about 30 years. But that's what you got to do. Just remember, when you're doing them, you've got to get this stuff out. Once you get to this is the hard stuff as well, by the way, because it doesn't like coming out, this old stuff. But once you get to that stuff, look at it. There's loads of it. You can feel it in my hand. It's all damp, this, where the rain's got to it. So we know we're at the top when it's all wet. You know, but it's not just the first layer. There'll be like probably 4 or 5 layers, because they'll probably more than that. They'll keep doing it and doing it and doing it. That's all they know what to do, birds, is they just keep dropping the bedding down every single year, drop a few twigs down, bedding every single year. It'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it'll just eventually start to fill the whole of the chimney up, and the bird's nest will get bigger and bigger and bigger. But now that damp patch will go away. It will start drying out. It's all the way up into the bedroom and in, not in the attic because it's all brick, but any painted areas, it'll dry it out. But the stainage won't go. Remember that. It's so important that you remember that. It will not go. This is not wallpaper. It looks it. I thought it was wallpaper, but it isn't. You need to go to a DIY store and you need to get damp seal. It's the only way to remove it. And paint damp seal on there. It's about 10 quid a bottle, probably like $13-14 a can, should I say. 10 pound for a can of it, and probably about 12 or $13 a can for it in America and Australia. And you know, I'm not too sure about other European countries. I only know about English speaking countries. But wherever you come from, damp seal is what you're looking for. If you speak English and you understand what I'm saying, that's what you want to do. And that'll get rid of all that. They've had to take the painting, well, they got a beautiful picture of their farm. They've had to take it down because it's got a back, like an MDF back on it. Of course, that's absorbed the water and it started to swell. So I've said to them, you know, you need to take that to a print shop ASAP before it gets onto the actual photograph. I've got a huge photograph of their farm, and they need to get that sorted out. Otherwise, it's going to ruin the photo, and I can't imagine they'll get another replacement because it looks at least sort of 60s, 70s photo. So I hope this helps. And remember, when you're doing the bird's nest, get something hard to smash it out, and this is the bedding, and just keep going and going and going. And then eventually you'll have a lovely drawer in there. And I'll just stick this up there. You should be able to hear that now. Nice drawer up there. But that's what you've got to do. Remember that. And then you'll be sorted. Have a lovely day from Zachary Sweeps.